Every relationship, I believe, is based on an aspect of giving and receiving. And the relationship, normally it's balanced when I give what I think that I am supposed to give, and I receive what I think that I am supposed to receive. When it gets into a moment in which I feel that I am giving too much, or I am not receiving enough, then I start to create conflict within the relationship, because I try to force the other to give more, or I try to feel that I should give less, so I start to try to change that, and so on. So, in any relationship, it doesn't matter with whom, it's always important somehow to have clear what I give and what I receive. What do I expect from it somehow also? In a relationship with the Guru, it just goes in the same way with our spiritual guide. And so what do we expect from our Guru? And what do we give to him also? This is a question that is not necessarily easy. And Lama Tsongkhapa himself, in the teachings of Lamrim, which is the gradual stages of the path to enlightenment, he gave big emphasis into explaining this into many details, which surely we will not enter into it right now. But on the basic level, let's try to understand starting from a metaphor. If I go to a doctor, why do I go to the doctor? What do I expect from the doctor? I expect from the doctor that he will make me a good diagnosis and he will show me the right treatment. I don't expect that the doctor will cure me. I don't expect that the doctor will make a miracle. And I don't go to the doctor because he's a nice guy or a beautiful woman. I go to the doctor basically because I believe that he has expertise based on his knowledge and on his experience that can help me to deal with my own sickness and to bring myself to a state of health. But if I go to the doctor and actually I do not rely upon the cure that he's giving to me, but I only rely upon the doctor himself, what will happen finally is that I will get frustrated because I will go to the doctor many times, and finally I will not get cured because I'm not relying upon the medicine. Similar to that, we must see the Guru, the spiritual guide, as a doctor. That we go to him because we are sick. We are sick from our mental defilements. We are sick from our own negative habits, because we are in samsara, in other words. So we go to see the Guru, we go to see the spiritual guide, because he can help us to give us the Dharma medicine, which basically is the methods, the tools, to help us to develop more stability, more love, more patience, a different worldview that is more consistent, and so on, to develop more wisdom ultimately. So, when I go to the Guru, but I have very clear that what I want is actually to develop my own self on the path to enlightenment. What I want is actually to develop my qualities, and he's the one showing me the path. He's the one guiding me through it. But it depends on my own self to do the practice, to follow the guidance. This will help me to have a more healthy relationship, because basically what happens is that what do I offer to the Guru? I offer my practice, first of all. I offer my support. I offer my help. And what do I receive? I receive the guidance on the path to enlightenment, a guidance that is not necessarily only technical. It's the guidance of having an example. It's the guidance that comes through love, through compassion, through wisdom, that doesn't come always verbally. And also the guidance that comes verbally, that comes through explanations, through teachings, through techniques that I receive, such as through initiations and meditation techniques, and so on and so on. So, Once I have this clear of what I want, then naturally I will create a more stable relationship. What happens on the other side, just to talk a bit about the, let's say, the dangers of what can happen, is that if I go to anyone, it can be a friend, it can be a lover, it can be a parent, father, mother, son, daughter, or the guru. When we create any relationship, we have the tendency to create an idealized image of the other person, what the other person should be in accordance to our own expectations. And when it happens that situations come up and shows us, at least we perceive, that the person doesn't match with the expectations we have, with the idealized image we have of the person, our tendency is to think that the person is wrong. And so we want to change the person. And most of the times this just creates more conflict and suffering. So the same thing happens also with the guru. So basically, what do I expect from my spiritual guide? A perfect person that fully supports and fully reflects the idealized image I have, that I see as a sort of a god, or someone that is an example to me, that guides me correctly, that gives me love, that gives me protection, with whom I feel safe, and at the same time that gives me most of all a correct guidance towards the path of enlightenment through an uninterrupted lineage. That's what we are looking for, most of all. So, finally, to cultivate a good relationship with our spiritual guide, we must rely strongly upon the spiritual path of the Dharma. The more we rely upon the Dharma, the better will be our relationship with the Guru. If we rely on the Guru without relying on the Dharma, sooner or later we will end up in a situation in which we feel betrayed because the Guru didn't do enough, or we feel that it's not good in the right way, and we will mix up things and we'll create conflict within ourselves. So it's always important to think, what do I receive and what do I give? This is important. And always remember that whenever we see someone else, our tendency is to judge the other based on how we are. But when we go to look for a spiritual guide, we are looking for someone that spiritually is more developed than us, that normally have a different view than the one that we have. So we need to be careful in judging anyone, generally speaking, especially when we are in front of someone that is different from us. We need to be careful before judging, before entering into certainties which are just based on our own way of being. That's why also it is said that before choosing a guru, we really need to check well. It's not something that we do like, okay, I go to a dentist, I didn't like that dentist, I look for another one. It's more like similar, let's say, if I need to go to someone that will make a heart surgery, I cannot say, oh, that doctor was not so good, let me try another. I need to be sure when I choose. So we need to take our own time, no hurry. But once we choose a guru, a spiritual guide, then we must really keep the relationship as pure as we can. And it's something that we need to cultivate day by day, by actually cultivating more and more the pure relationship with the Dharma itself. And we don't need to have necessarily only one guru, there can be more than one. The more we are stable with the Dharma, the more we can relate purely to many gurus. This is also another aspect that is important. But just one time again, ask yourself what I expect to receive and what am I giving. These two parts are important. And when I feel that I am not receiving enough, is it because I am not receiving what I'm supposed to receive, or is it because I have an expectation that goes beyond what is supposed to be? This is also an important part for us to check. And remember, there is no relationship that goes smoothly from beginning to end. There is always difficult moments because we have our own projections and so on. So we need to take care with love, with with value. We need to value the relationship, and by that we need to take care of it with love on our daily basis. That's also important.